Hey guys, this is Shane the Working Man, and today we're going to have a discussion on job interviews. And I'm going to give you a few tips that I have for you on what you can do to help the job interview go a little more in your favor. First thing we're going to discuss is how to dress for the interview. If you're applying for an entry-level job, wherever it may be, you want to come in dressed like you're applying for the manager's job. That's the best thing I can tell you. If you're applying to be a manager, you need to come dressed like a plant manager. You want to dress above, quote unquote, above the position you're applying for. You also want to show up early for the interview. Very important. Don't show up 2 hours early. 30 minutes early is fine. They're going to call the guy that's going to be doing your interview, or the girl, or whoever's going to be doing your interview. They're going to call them. They're, hey, this guy's here 30 minutes early for his interview. It'll look good on you down the road. Also remember to sit up straight and smile the entire time you're there. Very important. You want to exude confidence, and sitting up straight and smiling is the best way to do it. Make sure you give a firm handshake. Anyone you come in contact with at that business at that time, a firm handshake is very important. And be careful. When they call you back, you could have multiple interviewers. I've seen 3, 4, and 5 people conducting one interview at one time. And you want to make sure when you're talking, you slow down, speak clearly and calmly. Take a breath. Be ready for a lot of different questions. And we're going to go through a few questions that I've dealt with in all the job interviews that I've had over the course of the past 15 years. So let's break this down a little bit for you guys. Why should we hire you? Probably a real popular question, and it could be anything. It could be, okay, so I just graduated college for marketing, and you are a marketer, so that's why I'm applying here. What are your greatest strengths? That's a very important question. They're going to love to hear what you believe your greatest strengths are. And it's very important to be adaptable at a workplace. No matter where you go, if you can adapt, if you can learn quickly, it's a very, very good strength to have. They're also going to ask you, what are your weaknesses? And this is a hard one. You got to actually have some inward thought on what are your weaknesses. My weaknesses for the longest time, I was a smoker. I had to stop what I'm doing and take a smoke break. I consider that one of my weaknesses. Hopefully, I'll be done with that weakness very soon. They'll also ask, do you have any special skills? And at this point, you can be any skill. Say, hey, I am a juggler, or whatever skill you may have. It doesn't have to be anything about the job. Just what are some skills that you've took the time to develop over time, the talents that you've created for yourself on things that you like to do. They're also going to ask you, what are the things that you can bring to the job that you're applying for? So you're applying for an assembly job at a factory. You'd be like, hey, I've been certified at the past couple of businesses I've worked for to drive a forklift. It's a valuable skill to have in any factory environment. But it also can be, hey, I'm very proficient in Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel and Microsoft whatever. Whatever skills that you have that pertain to that job, that's what they want to know about. Another big one is, why do you want to work here? It's a very simple question, but it can have multiple meanings for different people. It could be, hey, you're the highest paying business in the area. I need to make more money. I want to make more money. That's why I'm applying here. Or it could be, you are might not necessarily be the highest paying job, but you have the best benefits out of anywhere in the area. That's why I want to work here. I want better benefits, which is a very important thing to look at when you're doing a little bit of research on where you want to work. Another big one is, tell me about yourself. That's a very popular question with most job interviews, and it could be anything. I mean, it could be, hey, I'm a family man. I work hard outside of work. I work hard at work. I've got a wife. I've got 2 kids. That's the kind of thing you want to explain to them at that point. Tell me about yourself. That's a very, very common question. Another big question is, how did you hear about the position? It could have been the internet. You could have seen it in a newspaper. You could have went to the unemployment office and found out about it there. I mean, you could have a friend or an acquaintance that works there. It's very simple. Another big one is, what do you know about our company? And that's a big one that nobody looks into, or I don't want to say nobody, but a lot of people don't look into the company that they're applying for. They don't know what they make. They don't know who their customers are. Those are big things that you can do to impress the person conducting the job interview or the people conducting the job interview. Another big one is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Which it could be a lot of different things. If you just graduated school or you're in school, you might not see yourself working there in 5 years. And a very, I guess you would say, neutral way to answer that question would be like, if the opportunities are provided to me at your company, I would love to be here in 5 years. Another big question, what is your dream job? I don't know why they ask this question, but they do. And just be honest with them. What do you aspire to do with your life down the road? Just be honest with them on that question. Another big one, probably one of the most important questions I ask you is, why are you leaving your current job? And it could be, oh, I got fired. You want to explain in great detail why you got fired. Hopefully it wasn't too horrible where they won't hire you. But it could also be as, you guys pay $4 more an hour than my current job, and I need to make more money. I've got a family to provide for. We work hard. We want to get the most money we can get for the work we put in. Another big one that you'll get is, how would your previous boss and coworker describe you? You want to be a pleasant person to work with. If someone's got to be around you for 8, 10, 12 hours a day, you want to be a pleasant person. So hopefully your boss and your previous coworkers will describe you as a pleasant person. Another big one is, what kind of salary are you looking to make at this job you're applying for? And you don't want to be anything crazy. If you're applying for an assembly job, and assembly jobs in your area pay $11 an hour, and you ask for $19 an hour, they're not going to hire you. Be reasonable. And I'm sure they'll be reasonable with you as well. And they'll ask you another question, what do you like to do outside of work? That could be anything. That could be hunting, fishing, sports. I like to play softball on the weekends. They just want to know what you're like outside of work. They want a little insight into your life. And they'll ask you some weird questions. And one question I've been asked is, how many cups of pudding would it take to fill up a 2-story house? The question is dumb as crap. The question does not matter. They want to see how your mind works in figuring out incredibly difficult problems. And problems that don't make any sense, because you'll run into that in the workplace all the time. Things that don't make sense, how are you going to work through that problem? And they'll have another very important question for you that a lot of people overlook, is they'll ask you, do you have any questions for us? And the correct answer to that is yes, you should have questions for them. Think about what you want to ask the interviewer. One of the big ones is, how do you like working here? That's a big one that'll throw them off guard a little bit. And they'll most likely explain, hey, I really like it, or whatever. But that's a very important question that you can ask them that's going to put them on the spot, just like they've just put you on the spot. And hopefully at the end of all this, the final question will be, when can you start? And that could be multiple things, and that could be multiple things for different people. If you currently have a job, the correct answer would be, I would like to give my current employer a 2-week notice before I quit. And that will make you look a whole lot better in their eyes. Hey, this guy, this girl is going to give us a 2-week notice if they decide to quit, so we'll be able to replace them if we have to. Or if you don't currently have a job, you can say, hey, I can start tonight. And they'll love to hear that as well. But that's all I got for you guys today. If you guys liked what you heard, hit that like button. If you want to see more content about the workplace and my ideas of the workplace, hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you guys next time.